No sweatshirt tonight?
And it's gonna go on over the guitar.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna hate whatever this is. Welcome Will Wagner to the stage, everybody!
Okay. So I'm gonna just secure this. Probably. I might secure this.
Do you want to use the other
It's
mic?
a little stripped.
Are
Sorry.
we all?
Are you using both mics?
I'm just gonna use both mics and a guitar.
You fucking better. Sorry, I don't know why I'm like.
No, you're good, you're good.
It's okay.
No, it's Will. I'm gonna
She already introduced me. They know who I am. Okay. I'm gonna be singing in one sometimes. So we'll make this the one I sing in sometimes, okay? I'm gonna play Linger. No. Everyone got real excited at 3 notes. They're like, oh my god, the song I want to hear? That can't be Will.
Which one do you know? You still like somehow found the person who liked that POD song the least.
Every day is a new day. I'm gonna need a little more from this my guy thing. I can't take it for granted.
Amazing.
Okay. Yeah, okay, this is wonderful. So when I'm on this microphone, I'm going to tell you a story and play you a song I played for the cousin who got me interested in music, and the material will be less jokey. But when I'm on this microphone, I'm a joke machine. As I tell you about the movies I hate for totally legitimate reasons. Here's an example. I hate the 2011 movie Jack and Jill because it makes me miss Big Mama's house. Staring up at a front porch light of a building I never knew. Every time I'm left alone, left here thinking of you. Every reminiscent thought and everything I see, every educational stroke and every turn of my key. I still take walks to the same damn place. I knew you'd want it that way. I still take walks to the same damn place. I knew you'd want it that way. And I hate 2016's Sausage Party as much as 2017's The Emoji Movie. I've never seen either, but I do hate them. I grew up in a big family with over 25 cousins, but Jimmy and Steven were the coolest guys. And to a kid like me, they looked and behaved like rock stars. Anyone know what the 2005 sequel to Cheaper by the Dozen should have been called? Anyone? The answer we were looking for was Cheaper by the Dozen 2, Baker's Dozen. Cousin Steven lived with his mom out east, and one summer day, my mom and I drove out there, and instead of playing the 1987 game Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link on NES, 1987 is also when Leonard Part 6 came out, and it's fucking terrible. Bill Cosby's acting is bad. No sword fight with hot dogs can redeem someone for drugging people, even if it is alleged so I don't get sued. The drugging, not the hot dog fight. I've seen that shit on HBO. I give it 0 out of 3 stars. So we walked in the side gate, and my cousin Steven sat next to us by the pool, fiddling around an acoustic guitar with a lit cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I'd only been there once or twice because I was only like 5 years old, and it was 1990. But 1990 is also when the movie Ghost Dad came out, starring Bill Cosby. Still fucking hate that guy, but we already have a movie in 1990 with Ghost in the title that rocks. It's called Ghost. Patrick Swayze is the main reason why I listen to the Righteous Brothers while I do my pottery. Unfortunately, this isn't a list about good movies that I do like. Cousin Steven had this way of smoking a cigarette like it was lucky to be on his face. It hung out the side of his mouth as if it knew better than to fall. So when my mom went inside the house, I could just focus on the guitar. I'd never seen anyone play guitar in person outside of church. And I also hate the 2010 version of The Karate Kid. I already don't like repeating titles, but when The Karate Kid is a movie about a kid who learns Kung Fu, just call it The Kung Fu Kid. Steven was playing Patience by Guns N' Roses, his favorite band. And while he was good at guitar, I'd never heard the song before, so I thought he wrote it. And if you've never heard Patience before, this is Patience by Guns N' Roses. I hate The Love Guru and You Don't Mess with the Zohan from 2008. I imagine these two movies exist within the same universe. Then I imagine that universe blows up. Then I smile in exactly that order. He asked me what video games I like, and I told him The Adventures of Link, but it was too tough for me to beat. He showed me how to get through the scary parts without needing my brother's help. He was so busy helping me with video games we forgot to go in the pool. The whole reason we went over there. 2014's Edge of Tomorrow had the original title Live, Die, Repeat, which is way better. Whenever anyone hears Edge of Tomorrow, they're reminded of the theme song from Saved by the Bell, the college years, right? Just me? Fine. Back to the stuff you know is gonna get inevitably sadder. After that, Jimmy and Steven went down some dark paths. Z and Steven became a rarity. As my other cousins began driving and having jobs, we'd hear stories about being put in dangerous predicaments unexpectedly. I was too young to drive. My Aunt Lucky, Uncle Big Mike, and Jimmy eventually moved off the island. Steven stopped showing up at events for a bit. We didn't see those two for much for a handful of years. Now You See Me from 2016? Why the fuck didn't they call the sequel to Now You See Me, Now You Don't? It's like calling your first movie Peekaboo and not calling the sequel I See You. Oh, if it was a horror movie, the ICU would be an initials for like intensive care unit, you know, because of all the blood. When I was 18 at a wedding, I got a chance to speak with my cousin Steven for the first time as an adult-ish. I was too young to have any problematic interactions with him from growing up, so I still looked at him like the guy he was in by the pool. And we pretty much only talked about music. But a note for 2006 Larry the Cable Guy Health Inspector. Never list two jobs for the same person in your movie title. Larry the Cable Guy doesn't sound like an actor, it sounds like a sequel to the movie Cable Guy. I told him I'd recently started playing guitar. He wanted to jam, but he was living 10 minutes away. I was finally old enough to drive, and the coffee shop by him was where his bandmates always jammed. Question for 2005's Herbie Fully Loaded. Why would you put Fully Loaded in your movie about driving? I had already had a Lindsay Lohan vehicle, now the car is drunk and I'm the one who's sober. Correction, mostly sober. I decided to play an original song that my friends seem to like. It's what I've been playing for about, I don't know, 18 minutes now. Guitar wasn't my strong suit. My strong suit was lyrics. At that point, all my lyrics were about petty bullshit, so I sang him some of my petty bullshit lyrics. But I hate 2011's Transformers Dark of the Moon. Did they forget the head side, or did Pink Floyd threaten to sue them? Which is it? Because there's no way they landed on fucking Dark of the Moon intentionally. Dimly walk through dark hallways, darks with you with nothing to say. I still wish I had static on the phone, you're whining, you're bitching, just take a deep breath, stop yelling and listen. I still believe that 1998's I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is bad because the notes should say, I know what you did 2 summers ago. Time doesn't freeze just because you're making a sequel. That's not how time or sequels work. I know you've somewhere else to go. I know you've someone else to see. Your place isn't in my head, tongue-tied, losing time on me. 1992's Home Alone 2 Lost in New York is messed up because Kevin isn't home and he's not alone. There's a bird lady and people everywhere. Anyway, how the fuck are you going to be both home and lost? Now, there are 2 more verses in an outro, but I'm probably running too late, so we can skip that. I don't like 1999's The Sixth Sense. Count the senses with me. Taste, touch, smell, sound, sight. If you see people, that's still using your sight. Oh, you see dead people? Great, still only your 5th sense. Stop padding the stats. Cousin Steven's been leaning back in his chair the whole time. Relaxed, but paying attention. He's not really changing his expression with a lit cigarette hanging out of his mouth. That's per usual. He leans slowly forward, ashes cigarette, and he looks me in the eyes and says, nearly every Star Wars entry is wrong. Episode 1 is about Rise of Anakin Skywalker, so we should call it The Rise of Anakin Skywalker instead of The Phantom Menace. Oh, no, he really said, dude, that was incredible. The fact that it was about my petty relationship bullshit stopped mattering. The guy who wrote Patience liked my music. It's the only song I'd ever get to play for him. But Star Wars Episode 2 is about the Sith getting revenge on Darth Maul being taken down, so it should be called Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, because the clones barely even fucking attack. We still see Steven at weddings, and I remember he'd say, I love you more than everybody else in the family. Maybe it's because he saw us less, but I think he was just built a little different. But Episode 3 is where the clone army does most of their attacking, so I think we should call it Star Wars Attack of the Clones, you know? It's a more appropriate title. And I told this story at his wake without as much focus on the movies I hate for totally legitimate reasons. So I didn't mention how episode 4 is where Luke, led by Obi-Wan, trains to be the first Jedi in a generation, or Star Wars Return of the Jedi. You get it, because he wanted to bring back the Jedi. Now, Cousin Jimmy couldn't make it due to obligations with the state of New York, but the news hurt him terribly. And in the lobby of the funeral home, I was able to speak to Steven's son, who was himself a musician. But episode 5 is where he studies under Master Yoda and expands his understanding of the Force, or Star Wars The Force Awakens. How does he do more stuff with the Force in this one? By awakening it. He told me a story of how his father dove into a pool with a lit cigarette, and when he came out of the water, it was still lit, hanging out of the side of his mouth like it was lucky to be on his face. And I couldn't help but think, man, he finally got to go in that pool. After Yoda dies in episode 6, spoiler alert, there's a showdown between Luke Skywalker and his father over who will be Star Wars The Last Jedi, you know, because they're the only Jedi left. But I'm worried that this set is getting too grim, so let's pretend I hit that kid. If that doesn't lighten the mood, then pretend I ate him. But when episode 6 ended, the Empire was thwarted. In episode 7, there's a bigger version of the Empire, more dangerous than before. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back? Oh, I think it works pretty well for that one. Okay, well, what if I told you that my Uncle Mike also died? Would that break the tension? Don't worry, though, because in episode 8, Rey represents a new hope, and I think you see where I'm going with this one. Star Wars, A New Hope. Sorry, I'm just really going through it right now. Humor and emotional manipulation are my coping mechanisms, and those two people thought I was a pretty funny little guy. Either that or I'm lying, and this becomes my acting reel. If they already used Rise of Skywalker for episode 1, there's only one place left to go for a story about a phantom that menaces people, giving us episode 9, Star Wars The Phantom Menace, reversing the first and last title. Every title in the series makes more sense with a different movie, and people deserve to know about it, but I know you've somewhere else to go. I know you've someone else to see. Your place isn't in my head, tongue-tied, losing time on me. Thank you for taking your time with me.